One step, everybody step over to the right. You can do a football catch. We were at Boise State, now we were at Boise State for 10 years and years. Nothing to do with that. It's a big game.
Okay. 1 minute. Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Taylor. I'm one of the Unified Incident Commanders for the Type 3 Incident Management Team, and I'd like to welcome you to our 4 o'clock community update for this storm incident. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize Supervisor Greg Hart, Goleta City Council Member James Kiyako, and Mayor Kathy Murillo from the City of Santa Barbara. Front Country Fire Departments, the Sheriff's Office, the Office of Emergency Management, Governor's Office of Emergency Services, and the National Guard all deployed emergency response resources based upon the National Weather Service forecast for this morning. We also activated our local incident management team. This was all supported by pre-positioning funds from the Governor's Office. Our resources were pre-deployed in the areas of our communities that are most at risk for debris flows and flooding, because this system was forecast to produce rainfall intensities that have the potential to cause debris flows. It was also forecast to be accompanied by strong, damaging winds. The initial rainfall intensity and strong, damaging winds arrived a little after 5 a.m., and we immediately responded to over 50 calls for service. Because our equipment was strategically positioned in multiple areas, a very quick response and mitigation of those incidents was possible. These calls for service included downed trees and power lines, localized flooding, traffic accidents, stranded motorists, clearing out drainages and waterways, and several homes that experienced minor flooding in both Montecito and the Carpinteria area. Chief Nicol will speak in a minute about damages associated with the City of Santa Barbara. The incident management team and all of our emergency response partners remain engaged and committed to solve these problems as these systems continue to pass through our area. Our #1 mission is to protect our community, to keep you safe, and we are here for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Jackson, meteorologist in charge with the National Weather Service in Oxnard, California. I've been working providing weather support for the Incident Command. This was definitely a very strong storm, probably the most intense storm we may see this season. Very wet storm. We had a very strong atmospheric river feed with this storm. We had seen this several days in advance. We had been working with our partners, giving them information, as Chief Taylor said, to allow them to strategically pre-position and deploy. Storm totals for this storm range from anywhere from a ½ inch to 1 inch in North County, 1 inch to 3 inches in the Santa Barbara South Coast, upwards to 3 to over 4, just over 4 inches in the foothills and the mountains. We had peak rainfall rates of about 0.6 of an inch in 15 minutes, and then 0.8 in 30 minutes and 1.09 in an hour over the Thomasburn area. For the Refugio Pass, however, we had 1.1 inches in 15 minutes, which is extremely heavy rain. And then that included 0.59 inches in 5 minutes. And so they actually experienced much heavier rain than we experienced in the Thomasburn area. So you could say we really dodged a bullet. We also had very strong winds, peak wind of 84, gust of 84 miles per hour at the Gaviota observation site. We had several stations that gusted over 71 miles per hour and quite a few stations that had sustained winds of over 40 miles per hour. We are expecting additional rain tonight, starting somewhere around Point Conception around 8 o'clock and then somewhere between 10 and midnight here in the Santa Barbara area. Intensities will be nowhere close to what we saw with this storm last night. However, we could have a system with more showers in nature, and any one of these showers could produce some brief higher intensities, maybe up to a ½ inch per hour. And such, we still have this flash flood watch, which is in effect until 4 a.m. tomorrow. That could be updated as the night goes on. We also will have an additional system which will move through on Monday night and Tuesday, but again, that is not expected to be nowhere near as strong as today's storm. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Cindy Ponce, Captain of the California Highway Patrol here in Santa Barbara area. Today we received notification from the Department of Public Works that the water was overflowing the creek beds and the 101 may be impacted. We immediately took action, shut down the 101 southbound at Milpas and northbound at the 150. Due to the effective communication and timely notification, we were able to get the 101 shut down before any motorists were stuck in the rising water and mud that overtook the freeway. Caltrans is currently working diligently to get the freeway cleared so we can open it as soon as it is safe to do so. There are also many county roads that were impacted, and Public Works and county roads are working diligently to clear those roads also. We know that having the freeway shut down is extremely inconvenient for everybody. We thank you so much for your continued patience, and please rest assured that we are all doing everything within our power to get the freeway open and to keep you and your community safe. Thank you.
Jim Shivers, Caltrans District 5 Public Affairs. We're very pleased to announce that southbound Highway 101 will reopen or has reopened as of 4 o'clock today. It is our intent to open the northbound lanes of Highway 101 sometime between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock tonight. We are very grateful to the Caltrans maintenance field staff, construction team, working diligently to reopen US 101. We're aware this is a major north-south thoroughfare that has a tremendous economic impact for this community. Within the next hour, we anticipate closing a section of Highway 154. This would be in the Lake Kachuma area. There is a culvert or drainage issue that we need to deal with. There'll be more details forthcoming about the hours of the closure and the length of that closure. Again, we're committed to keeping all state highways in the region open, and we will continue to be on call 24/7 throughout this storm season, and we will work in concert with all of the agencies to keep people safe. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Scott Magoffin. I'm the County Public Works Director for Santa Barbara. I'll provide an update on the current status of county roads and flood control facilities. As you've heard, numerous county roads have been impacted because of this morning's event by the floodwater and/or debris, and those roads are either closed or lane restrictions are in place currently. We also have numerous trees which have come down. In some cases, that tree debris also has power lines intertwined with the trees, so we have to get the power lines out before we can remove those trees and open those roads. Our priority is to open our high volume lifeline roads around the county first, and then the balance of the roads will be opened as resources become available. As you heard from the Weather Service, this morning's event, we had 4 of our rain gauges in the Thomas Fire burn area and 2 gauges in the Whittier Fire burn area that exceeded the burn area thresholds. All of our debris basins performed as planned for the material that moved in this morning's events. Crews have been working diligently all day to ensure that the basin outlets will be open for tonight's storm. Public Works is currently scheduled to remove the large rock and woody debris now contained in these basins starting Monday morning. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Eric Nicol, and I'm the fire chief with the City of Santa Barbara. Before I speak to the Santa Barbara city-specific items, I do want to share with you that even though we wear different colored uniforms, we have different responsibilities. In this instance, we come together as one team with one mission, and to see hundreds of first responders, public works folks, safety officials working in one for the safety of this community and this county is very admirable, certainly as a new fire chief coming in from the outside. I do want to also acknowledge the work from the California State OES and their pre-positioning program that allowed us to staff up extra resources, all of whom were actively engaged overnight and this morning when the storm hit. Specific comments to the City of Santa Barbara. we started getting heavy winds, rains around 6 a.m. this morning. All of our on-duty resources within the fire department, police department, public works, as well as our parks department were engaged. We had numerous street flooding instances. We had a few businesses that had water come into the business, and we had several trees that did come down within the city. One thing that we did see, particularly in the Mission underpass off of 101, as soon as we cleared one vehicle out of there and blocked the roadway, within 10 minutes another vehicle attempted to drive through the deep water and became stuck, and we had to assist that motorist out. I would remind you, if you see water, don't try to drive through it, turn around, don't drown. We continue to be engaged overnight. We have staffed up extra resources, and because of the anticipated rain event occurring through the night, we will have extra resources on duty both within the city as well as the pre-position resources available within the county. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Sheriff Bill Brown with the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. And in light of what happened today, in light of what you just heard, the forecast for moderate rain tonight and through tomorrow, along with the status of the debris basins, the Storm Risk Decision team late this afternoon recommended, and I have made the decision, to extend the evacuation order through at least late tomorrow morning. We will reevaluate how things are looking at that time, and we will decide on the best plan moving forward then. But for now, public safety risks remain, and we do not feel it would be safe or prudent to repopulate the evacuated areas. Please be assured that while residents are away from their homes, we will continue to have teams of deputies conducting saturation patrols of the evacuated areas in order to safeguard property and to keep people out of the impacted areas who have no business being there. We will also have this evening and through tomorrow morning our rescue task force teams made up of sheriff's search and rescue personnel and special enforcement team members with their armored vehicles who are pre-positioned in the area in the event that they are needed. We're also fortunate to have with us for another evening the National Guard with 5 of their high water vehicles. On behalf of everybody here, I want to thank the community for their cooperation and their response during yet another evacuation event. Our statistics show that when we contacted the people who we contacted yesterday, the majority of people were already aware of the fact that there was an evacuation order issued. Only about 17% of the people that were contacted indicated that they were going to remain in the burn areas below the Sherpa, Whittier, and Thomas Fire burn scars. We can't thank the community enough for that cooperation. And before I wrap up, I just wanted to take this opportunity also to send our condolences to the Ventura County Sheriff's Office, which suffered another terrible tragedy today. One of their search and rescue team members was killed this morning on I-5 near Pyramid Lake during a heavy rainstorm. Jeff Dye was among other team members from Ventura Search and Rescue who were on their way to a training event, and when they saw a rollover traffic accident, they stopped to help. And while they were in the process of assisting the people in that vehicle, another vehicle plowed through the scene and 10 people were injured as a result of that. Jeff Dye was pronounced dead at the scene. There's another search and rescue member who is in critical condition. Please keep him in your prayers, and our hearts go out to Jeff Dye's family and friends and to our brothers and sisters at the Ventura County Sheriff's Office. This event is just another reminder of the dangerous conditions that exist during heavy rainstorms, and it's also indicative of the dangers that first responders face whenever they are out there dealing with calls during stormy weather as well. We remind everybody to please drive carefully and slowly during the rain events and to be safe out there. And we thank you for your patience and for your continued cooperation. And we promise those of you who have been evacuated that we will get you back into your homes as soon as possible. So with that, we'd be happy to take any questions that you might have. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for mentioning.